This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pitstop, where you are the real star of the show, of today's show, because it is you and your conversation about today's sim racing news that makes it all worthwhile. I'd like to thank our audience, the pit crew, the guys who've been sending me stories. So some of these come from the things that I've found, and some of these stories come from the viewers out there. And I have to tell you, today I'm a little behind on things. YouTube screwed everything up. I almost didn't get on the air. I'm noticing right now I have the wrong description for the show, so despite me saving it, for some reason YouTube didn't like that and changed it, and I cut and pasted that, put the wrong description on Facebook. It also didn't schedule the launch time for the show, so some weird things going on this morning. Let's just hope that is Monday blues, but we are here live here to talk about the news. And there are a few things to talk about, both in sim racing news and things that we'll want to talk about, just stuff going on with the sim pit. So let's move on to today's news, and we'll get through that, and then we'll open up the conversation for anything you guys have on your mind. And, Steam King, we're going to talk a little bit about the sim racing pizza poll, which is a very interesting topic in its own. So, Forza Motorsport, they are starting their leagues this next week. Next week, they're starting leagues. So if you go to their Twitter feed, you can go to their article, and they tell you all about the various different league functions that are being added into Forza. We just talked about the expansion of this kind of stuff for Gran Turismo. So when we look at our two big console games, Gran Turismo Sport and Forza, these two have always clashed. They've always gone head-to-head. If I were to do a pizza poll on just the console side of things, we would have totally different answers, and you would see huge fanboy support for these two titles. So, in typical fashion of their rivalry, they are going to go keep sparring, feature by feature, function by function, and adding more to the sims in order to just get them better for all of us. And this is kind of what we were talking about when we talked about the pizza poll, was I want sim companies pushing other companies. We're going to come back to the sim pizza poll. We're going to finish with that perhaps. So anyway, if you're interested in Forza getting in a league environment, then you definitely want to get over there and check out this and find out what you can do racing wise. Not really a news topic, but I love this picture, or GIF, G-I-F, we can call it. This is iRacing. So today is week 13 in iRacing. Actually, we're not quite there yet, a couple hours away, where we're going to go into that just random racing. The normal series, the 12-week series, will have come to an end this morning, and we will be into that anticipation of the new build. And in normal fashion, typically, there's no written in stone rule here, but typically Tuesday is when we get the new build out at some point during the day, and then usually later in the week we end up seeing an update or two to make some small adjustments based on it getting out to the public. But you saw the global rally cars, really looking forward to that. A lot of new features. I'm going to get a full build notes, and we'll probably cover that on tomorrow's show. They're probably out right now, but I didn't get them for today's show yet. So if you're into iRacing, you can go look at them yourself in the forum. I'm sure they're there. It'll be released at any moment. But today is a big day for iRacing fans, because we are on pins and needles, on the edge of our seat, waiting on the new build. And I can tell you, as soon as it comes out, I'm going to be in the GRC having fun. Still got my handbrake set up right here, even though I have to do another wheel change coming again. I've talked about the eSport and F1 eSport, and they had their championship. Brandon Lee won, and I didn't watch the race, admittedly, but there was an interesting moment that they re-aired. And a long time ago, I covered a pass in the Daytona 24 that was made, and wanted your call on what you thought was right or wrong. But let's check this out real quick. Brandon Lee goes to the inside, takes a line. I mean, he was late, but he got in there, and then he pushed the other guy wide, and he then chose to cut the course. He was given a 3-second penalty. I love that. That gesturing is too awesome. Anyway, but this is what went on at the F1 eSports series, and when we think about real-life racing with the consequences of a crash, it's very obvious and very significant when somebody does wrong, and it comes at a tremendous fee or price. But in the case of video gaming, it's a little bit different. And I say video gaming, we are talking Codemasters F1 2017 here, but if we're talking sim racing or video gaming, when we have a lot of money on the line, how are they going to deal with these kind of situations? And what is right or wrong if there's no risk or danger of being injured? In the case of this game, wheel-to-wheel contact doesn't even end up in the inevitable car going flying into the air. In real life F1, that is the case. You go wheel-to-wheel, somebody's launching into the air. So anyway, I saw this and just thought, as we talk about 2018 being the year of competition, professional esport sim racing, how are they going to handle these? You know, these are organizing bodies behind it, but at some point they're going to have to make a tough call. And that tough call could come at the consequence of $500,000 Visa Vegas. That consequence could come at the risk or the price of a job, world's fastest gamer. It could come in the form of an opportunity to race. In the case of the Global Mazda, where Glenn McGee went on to have a whole season of racing in the Mazdas. So it could be something that we're going to have to see them figure out how to fairly judge and discipline professional esports. It's all been up for fun. You know, you play flag football down at the park and whatever. It doesn't matter how much if they make a good or bad call. In the real deal, where Super Bowls are at stake, it does. So anyway, that's kind of what I was thinking when I saw that video today. It wasn't so much the move, wasn't so much even that event. I'm not even trying to point or single them out. It just made me think, if this is going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, how are they going to control the competition? We haven't even gotten to the topic of cheating and things, which in live competitions is very difficult to do. But anyway, moving on. Forza Advent Calendar moves on, and was it AJ? I can't remember. Sorry, my brain is mush. Who had talked about the tremendous deal on that CSL and BMW wheel going for like $390 or something. I mean, literally half the price. They're moving on. So on the 2nd, they did a handbrake. Got that right here. 3rd, they did a Formula rim. I can't tell if that's the carbon or the standard. And it looks like today it is a pair of inverted pedals. So if you, anyway, I'm just telling you because you'd be blown away by the deals that are going. So if you're looking for Fanatec gear, head over to the Fanatec site, go to the community page. That's where you will find the link to the Advent Calendar and the instructions on how to make a bid. So they have the auction-only newsletter you can sign up for. Anyway, just thought I'd let you know about that. This comes from The Man. Thank you, The Man, for this great link. This is at GamePressure.com, and it is a list of the upcoming racing video games, which is a very cool list because we can now start setting the calendar, looking at our calendar and seeing what is coming and how excited or not excited. Beam, NG Drive, don't know much about that coming out immediately-ish. It looks like The Crew 2. You know, The Crew had a lot of potential, and obviously not in the sim level, but in the fun driving game level. Wreckfest, that could be great. I mean, who doesn't love wrecking? Gran Turismo 7. Did I not say that GT Sport might be nothing but a prologue? Did I not accept the thought that maybe this wasn't the next in the line of the royalty of Gran Turismo? Gran Turismo 7 has been talked about and announced. No date yet. TT Isle Man, we talked about them. They're delayed to 2018. That was supposed to be out by now. World of Speed, I know nothing about. Skidstorm, Gravel, Monster Energy, we just talked about that the other day. I thought this was Xbox exclusive, but I now think it might be multi-platform. Slides, I don't know. Let's talk about the sim poll in just a moment. We're going to come back to that. Grip, the big one here. Here it is officially. GTR 3, 2018 by Simbin. The original was by Simbin. So, it looks like... Bear with me. I want to go to this. Sorry. Bear with me. Oh, so they are still calling it Simbin, it looks like. Interesting. So, this is something I'm going to have to get very busy on, tracking this down, talking to the guys at Simbin, finding out what exactly is going on there. But this is something you guys have talked about and mentioned on the show many a time. GTR3, can we confirm or deny its existence? Here we go. On Rush, we've talked about Formula Fusion, new MX versus ATV, Red Bull Air Race. I've actually played this. I shouldn't tell you that, but I've actually played it by Slightly Mad Studios. So they worked with Red Bull. Obviously not a driving game. It's a flying racing game. Anyway, you can check out the rest of the list. It is pretty long. There are quite a few games, sims, things to drive and play. The VW is the free car Havoc, correct. And all the tracks are included on the track. So if you have Daytona 2017, it's on the infield. If you have Lucas Speedway, it's on the infield, etc., etc. Sounds very dangerous. I can't remember what I said that was dangerous. Ah, so it's a new sim bin. That makes total sense. Alright, so that's the end of that. And that actually takes us to the end of the news. So let's move on to a couple other topics very quickly, and then we'll bring this show to a close. I'm going to bring up the graphic for our BMW series. Man, I had a terrible race. Both races at Spa were terrible for me, so I'm going to have to really work harder at Road America. Dennis, in the show here, the big one, he's the one who's set up the server 24/7 for us to be able to practice for our sim racing series. And thank you very much, Dennis. He and I have talked, and mainly led by Dennis, so again, thank you, of how to really take things to the next level with that series. We have a bigger turnout than ever right now. We're having a lot of fun with it. So what he's done now, and I'm going to put a link at the Simpit website. I don't have it up, but I will have it up today. A banner that you'll be able to click that will take you to this page here. And this is our stats page. This shows you who's posted times on the server for this week's track. So this is a very, very cool, very helpful graphic. So if you get in there right now, there might not be anyone running. And I believe this even shows you if people are running or who's out on track. But I'm going to have a link to this at the Simpit. You look for a banner at thesimpit.com, and it will take you to this page, and you can see your lap times, whether you're on the server with them or not. And in addition to that, he also recommended an app called PT Tracker, which is available at Race Department. I'll try to track that down and maybe do an installation show just to show you how to use that. But with that, you can actually compare your corner speeds and really analyze. You know, Cy Yip is the class of our field. Welcome, or congratulations, Cy, once again for being the man when it comes to our GT type series. But anyway, you could really compare and see how you do versus Cy, and that can be very helpful when it comes to when it comes to improving and getting better for yourself. So anyway, Dennis, thank you very much for doing that. The server's up now. I'll be there between now and Wednesday because I am looking to have a much better week at Road America than I had at Spa, and which is too bad because Spa is one of my favorite tracks. So it's quite a letdown for me to be just that far off the pace. So I have a lot of work to do, and hopefully we'll see an improvement on my end this week. That is the end of that story, and that takes us to the Sim Pizza poll. And I'm not going to dwell on this topic, but getting back to what I was saying earlier about Forza versus Gran Turismo, I want the sim companies battling each other. I don't need to take the opinion that any sim is better than another. I want them stealing the most minute little details from each other to expand every aspect of their sim. So I know I saw the comments, and I'm not going to talk about the comments much, but I saw a lot of comments on that show, which is awesome. A lot of good debate, and I saw a lot of people who are really getting, like, way offended, in my opinion, in the wrong way or for the wrong reasons. But the whole point of that poll, and our sampling is what our sampling was. It's 470 voters from our community mainly, and, you know, anyway, enough said there. But the point is, that poll really showed, even iRacing, who won more topics, man, did iRacing get to see where they're losing the battle horribly to other sims. And if that even makes them add one more element to their sim, then a job well done by us, the community, for getting it known to them that, hey, you're getting killed in graphics and sounds and other very important details. Pick it up. And when you look at Assetto Corsa, hey, you're getting killed on things that maybe you thought you were great at. pick it up, get it together, make a better sim. And that's what I really want out of all of this. When I do a poll like that, when I want our voices being heard by those companies, that is the point. The point isn't to declare a winner. This wasn't even an opinion poll on best sim. This was the best aspects of each sim. We didn't declare a winner at all. So, oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Dennis. I'll do that right now. Put that back up, and hopefully you guys can see that as I continue talking about the sim racing poll. Actually, I'm done with the poll. I love the topic. I loved the conversation about it. I loved that we really got some great voting. And with any poll, any voting option, you will get ridiculous responses. And even by a handful of people, it's going to happen in any election, any poll, any type of thing like this, survey. But when you have 470 people and you get strong opinions on certain, you have to understand that is a valid and important opinion by the people. So that's the end of my thoughts there. If you didn't see that show on Saturday, go check it out. I know it was a little long. I actually wanted it to be a much more presentation involved in that show, but it would have taken me forever to do, and it would have turned it into a 2-hour long show, which I thought wasn't necessary. So hopefully you did check that out. Beyond that, a couple people have mentioned Twitch. I actually am on Twitch, but I'm doing a terrible job of it. So it's something that I am trying to work on in the background as well, getting better descriptions and thumbnails to the pictures, to the shows. Also, truth be told, I actually have 2 Twitch channels, and I haven't figured out which one I'm going to make the official channel yet. So my stream right now, I believe, is actually going to Twitch as we speak, but I don't know what it's doing with it, and I don't know nearly enough. So it's something I'll work on as well, but we are on Twitch. Look for the Simpit. Look for Sean at the Simpit. There are a couple of different ones over there, and you'll see one that does have a handful of videos. It's just they all look like they're the same video. So anyway, something again that I'm working on for the future, and we'll get that better than it is right now. So that is going to do it for today's show. Just to give you an idea what I'm working on. No streams later in the day for me. Don't know about Mitchie. He might. He's a maniac when it comes to streams. Go Mitchie. I'm actually going to be filming my Thrustmaster TGT review finally. So it'll take a while to finish that one, but it is what is in the works over the next couple of days. Still trying to get caught up on a lot of things. Getting close to caught up on emails. There's still a few of them out there, but for the most part, I've gotten back to them all. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the pet crew. Thank you for caring about sim racing and being here for the conversation about sim racing news and being part of the community that is going to continue to push sim racing to that next level in 2018. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.